Now I request C. Avantika Sharma, please come forward and introduce our first speaker, Abhijit Kelkar sir, before the audience.
Good evening, everyone. It is my privilege to introduce inspiring and an eminent personality, CA Abhijit Kelkar sir. Needless to introduce as, but it is a format of the seminar. A brief regarding Sir Abhijit sir. CA Abhijit sir is senior partner of Messrs. Abhijit Kelkar and Company, Chartered Accountants. His academic achievements are BCom, LLB, FCA, Diploma in Information System Audit, Certified Internal ISO Auditor, holds certificates for International Financing Reporting Standards and Concurrent Audit of Bank and IND by ICI, Certified QuickBook Pro Advisor, Journey with Institute of CA Institute, elected as RCM to WIRC for the term 2016-19 and presently 2019 to 22. Presently Chairman of Grievance Committee, Vice Chairman of International Taxation Committee and Accounting Standard for Local Bodies, and the member of several other committees of WIRC of ICI. He was a managing committee member of Nagpur branch of WIRC of Institute of Chartered Accountants for the term 2007-2010 and from 2010 to 2012. Chairman of Nagpur branch in the year 2012. Nagpur branch received All India Best Branch and WIRC branch Best Branch Award for the year 2012 during his chairmanship. Professional contributions. Visiting personality and faculty for various management colleges and institutions. Delivered lectures at various forums and seminars and conferences on varied topics of professional and general interest. Delivered more than 180 lectures till date. Regular writer for various publications and newspapers. Also published a book on GDP titled as GDP Decoded. Conferred with Sahkar Mitra Award for contribution of cooperative sector. Other associates. Past President of Rotary Club of Nagpur Orange City, Vice President of Sahkar Bharti, Director of Deen Dayal Cooperative Society, Member of Techno Legal Advisory Committee of Maharashtra, Member of Maharashtra Economic Development Council, Life Member of Marathi Arthashastra Parishad, Trustee of Vishweshwara Vachanalay, Life Member of Bharatiya Shikshak Mandal, Life Member of New English School Association, Member of various organizations like Industry Association, Nag Vidarbha Chamber of Commerce, Vidarbha Tax Practitioners Association, Income Tax Bar Association, GST Bar Association, etc. and endless. And I am a regular follower on Facebook also. Looking forward for your guidance, sir. Thank you.
Now, without taking much time, I request C. Abhijit Kelkar sir, please guide on UDIN.
Chairman of Nagpur branch, Surendurakkar. Secretary Saket Bagadia, Vikasa Chairman Sanjay Agrawal. Co-speaker and very good and old friend of mine, C. Ram Bonde. Even I can say we are batchmates. We studied together, and I'm happy to share a dais with Ram today at ICA. Seniors in the profession and my dear professional colleagues. At the outset, I am thankful to Nagpur branch for this opportunity, and it is always my endeavor to talk on new topics related with the technology, topics related with the professional development, topics related with the new things, new challenges that are going to be faced or we are facing by chartered accountants. And this era of e-environment wherein everything is going online, and we are already burdened with so many compliances that are to be done online. But even the advent of GST is not an end, it's just a beginning. And to the top of it, we have now UDIN, popularly known as Udin. However, since the time this particular Udin is been pronounced by ICI, the members are ignoring it because of some or the other reason. One of them is they are already burdened with the GST compliances. The very next reason, they were waiting for bank audits. Third reason would be they are busy in doing bank audit. And I think after completion of this bank audit period, they will seriously and sincerely look into what exactly this UDIN is and how it is going to affect their regular style of practice. So it is my humble attempt to let you know what UDIN is all about, number one. I also confess that like you, I am also a student and this is a new thing which is on the block. So through these seminars, I will also be learning new challenges, new issues through your queries. So I apologize if I am not able to answer any pertinent question, but I am sure I will be resolving all of your queries. So to start with, unique document identification number, a digital attestation of document by practicing chartered accountant. So the sentence is digitally attestation of document. So please note, they are not talking about any report, any format, any certificate. They are saying digital attestation of a document. So though there is a prescribed deadline from which date which document is to be given UDIN, but the institute is saying it is a digitally attestation of a document, and that too by a practicing chartered accountant. You must have seen in recent times there are many instances wherein it has been observed that instead of practicing chartered accountants, the documents are signed by some other person. And to curb this kind of forgery, the concept of UDIN has been put in by the Professional Development Committee of ICI. And to make it more specific, let me tell you that Calcutta High Court, in a specific case wherein the income tax department told the court that a particular chartered accountant has given rosy picture of a particular client and signed wrong documents, and the court directed ICI to look into the matter and take the appropriate action, and ICI seek clarification from that particular chartered accountant. That chartered accountant replied that it is not his sign and he has never signed it. Even the stamp is forged, the documents are forged. And from that very day, the council decided that we must do something so that the accountability, the ownership of any certificate document issued by a chartered accountant will be able to establish. And in its 379th meeting of Central Council came up with this particular concept of UDIN. So there is a precedence. There were various precedents, but this was the specific precedence because of which the ICI introduced this concept of UDIN, and it allows, through UDIN, it allows access to only the stakeholders to check the authenticity of the document. We'll see how this allows the stakeholders to check the authenticity of the document, and it is totally secure because only the person who is having UDIN number with him can check whether that UDIN exists or not. There is no name of the client there, so no one can identify that to which client this particular document pertains and so on and so forth. So it is totally secure. So UDIN is a unique document identification number generated by the system and the document which is certified or attested by a chartered accountant. Please note, attested by a chartered accountant. So if you have certified photocopies, like we used to certify photocopies of our students, there is no question of generation of UDN. So please note that. But wherever you are certifying or you are attesting, attesting means you are signing, you are stating that it is giving a true and fair view, or the facts mentioned therein are correct. So you are certifying or you are attesting, then you have to generate UDN through the system, and this UDN authenticate the certificates and documents attested by the CA, and the mechanism has been conceptualized by the Professional Development Committee of ICA. Right from GST to value-added tax, service tax, bank, utilization certificate, income tax, company acts, and so on and so forth. So the list is illustrative. There are various instances, various cases wherein we need to sign the document. So as I said, the basic purpose of UDN, it is a universal identification of a certified document. So once any document is having UDN on it, it is a universally acceptable number through which whether the document is authenticate, correct or not can be identified. And since this is online, this can be done anywhere in the world. Number 2, tracking of fake and forged document is possible. Henceforward, any document which is forged or fake, the stakeholder will be able to identify that whether it is fake or not. Accountability vis-a-vis transparency will be maintained. It will establish the authenticity of the document. It secures the document certified by CA, and it facilitates the regulators and authorities to get that whether the document is authentic or not. So these are the various reasons, benefit why UDN has been introduced. Now let us talk about who are the stakeholders. If you find there, this word is regularly used that it is for the stakeholders to identify the authenticity of the documents. You are aware that who are the stakeholders, and the stakeholders are, as we are aware, regulators, bank, authorities and others. So stakeholders mean those who relied on the documents issued by the chartered accountant, and now through UDN they will be able to identify whether the document is correct or not. So UDIN has been made mandatory as per the council decision, which I have already mentioned, and the deadline they have given that it is applicable to all certificates done by practicing chartered accountants with effect from 1st February 2019. So all certificates issued after 1st February 19, UDIN has to be generated compulsory. Then all GST and tax audit report after 1st April. So far as tax audit reports are concerned, those who are having bank audit, they must have signed or must be in the process of signing the tax audit report, and for that tax audit they need to generate the UDN. Please note, UDN is assignment wise. So for every assignment a separate UDN has to be generated. In bank audit, tax audit is a separate assignment and statutory audit is a separate assignment. So for statutory audits, so far as till now only certificates are required to be having UDN number. So all certificate falls under one assignment of bank audit. So there will be a single UDN generated for all the certificate. For tax audit, you have to generate a separate UDN so far as bank audit is concerned. Afterwards, all tax audit and all GST audit, you have to generate UDN from 1st of April, and the next deadline is all other attest function. So the honeymoon period of few months is there wherein one can say whether UDIN is applicable to particular document or not. One can take the benefit of interpretation, but after 1st of July, which is incidentally the CA day as well, so till 1st of July only tax audit and VAT audit is included. Okay. आपका कहना है कि 1 फरवरी के बाद आपने सर्टिफिकेट इश्यू कर दिए लेकिन यूडीआईएन जनरेट नहीं किया है. देयर इज अ प्रोविजन which says if you have issued a certificate you can generate UDIN within 15 days after the date of signing the certificate. तो अगर 15 दिन नहीं हुए हैं you can very well generate the UDIN. अगर 15 दिन हो गए हैं तो सिर्फ भगवान ही आपका साथ दे सकता है. बिकॉज इंस्टीट्यूट ने कहा दिस इज अ इंस्टीट्यूट गाइडलाइन विच हैज टू बी फॉलोड बाय द प्रैक्टिसिंग चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, and if you have not followed it will be a misconduct. It is going to be a professional misconduct for sure. किसी ने पूछा मुझे अभी, मैं रास्ते में किसी ने सवाल आया कि मिस्टर केलकर आपका लेक्चर चालू हो गया कि नहीं. बोला 5 बजे है तो एक सवाल पूछ लूं क्या मैं. तो मैं बोला पूछिए, क्योंकि मैं बोला मैं पूना में हूं. बोले मुझे कल सर्टिफिकेट साइन करना है, मैं आज यूडीआईएन जनरेट कर लूं क्या. द आंसर इज नो. यूडीआईएन कैन बी जनरेटेड फ्रॉम द डेट यू हैव साइन द डॉक्यूमेंट. आप पहले यूडीआईएन जनरेट कर रहे हैं और बाद की डेट में डॉक्यूमेंट साइन कर रहे हैं, ऐसा होगा नहीं. दोनों की डेट साथ होना चाहिए. खास बात मैं आपको भी बता दूं जो आपने देखी नहीं होगी, अगर आप डेट फॉर एग्जांपल 1 अप्रैल डालते हो और 15 दिन बाद वहां पे 16 तारीख को जनरेट करते हो, इट विल नॉट एक्सेप्ट. द फीचर इज इनबिल्ट. सो उसमें आप, मैं वो भी बताऊंगा, यूडीआईएन के पोर्टल में देयर इज अ कॉलम विच से डेट ऑफ साइनिंग ऑफ द रिपोर्ट, जिस दिन आप एक्चुअल साइन कर रहे हैं. इफ यूडीआईएन इज जनरेटेड आफ्टर 15 डेज it will not allow you to generate. So one has to be very careful that as soon as you sign any document, today you sign any certificate or you sign any GST or VAT audit report, you have to generate UDIN within 15 days. So this is the timeline, time limit given for generation of UDIN. We move forward. Who can generate UDIN? The UDIN is a unique document identification number and can be generated only by a practicing chartered accountant. So cases wherein a document is certified by a person who is having part-time COP, or the person actually he does not exist but his name has been used, but now with UDIN only member having full-time COP, because as per ICAI guideline, any person who is having part-time COP, 2 things are restricted. Number 1, he cannot do any attest function. If you are having part-time COP, you cannot do any attest function. Number 2, you cannot train articles. So these are the basic 2 restrictions. Number 1 is important. So if you are having part-time COP, you will not be able to generate the UDIN, because you will not be able to register yourself with UDIN. So only full-time practitioner, the practitioner having full-time COP, they will be able to generate UDIN, they will be able to register themselves. This website, this particular page is very simple, very user-friendly. There is no, I would say there is no rocket science involved behind generation of UDIN. It is very simple. You must know the concept, but I also strongly believe that in years to come it is going to be somewhat tricky and more fields will be added in generation of UDIN. Till that time, enjoy this UDIN. So this is the basic home page of the UDIN site, wherein you can see home, members registration, forgot password, verify UDIN, help desk, FAQ, PD portal, video, and then you can see here about UDIN. You can click there and find there are so many FAQs given about the UDIN. On the right hand side you can see members login. So those who have already created login, they have to enter this website through this members login. And if you are not first time user, then you have certain procedure which I will cover. And the right side, authorities, regulators, banks and others, verify UDIN. So this is the window through which the outsiders will be able to verify whether that UDIN is correct, whether that certificate is correct or not. We'll see how this will happen in the next slide. So this is the home page of your UDIN site. And now how to generate UDIN? Step number 1, registration. The UDIN can be generated from the website, which I already mentioned. The user chartered accountant first need to sign up the portal with his membership numbers and other credentials. There are cases wherein, see, at the time of first time login, they will send an OTP on your registered mobile number and your registered email ID. And there are cases wherein both these are not registered with ICAI, because beforehand we never care about registering them with ICAI. But if your mobile number or email ID is not registered in www.ici.org website, there is a e-services link. In e-services, there is another link, another URL which says update your mobile number and email ID. So once you put in there your data, it generally takes 24 hours to update your mobile number and email ID. Because unless and otherwise the mobile number and email ID is updated, you are not allowed to register. You are not allowed to open the login. So first step is to register your mobile number and email ID with the institute if it is not registered. Next step, then you have to do your registration with UDIN portal immediately, because as I said, the mobile number and the email ID will be used to send the OTP. And again, this is very simple. We are used to this procedure of opening accounts, login and all this. Very simple. There will be a CAPTCHA code and OTP and this and that. And this is how you will be able to have your login with UDIN portal. I suppose there is no question on this. So this is the page. If you say you want to register first time, this is the page that will come in front of you, which are simple membership number, 6-digit, date of birth, again it has to be matching with the record with the institute, and year of enrollment, and send OTP. Very simple. You do this, you get an OTP, you write that OTP and you will be registered. Simple. So this is how one will get registration, one will get login with the UDIN portal. The algorithm. Now how this UDIN will look like. So it is a 18-digit system generated number. It is a 18-digit alphanumerical system generated number, wherein first 2-digit YY will be the last 2-digit of the current year, the year in which you will be generating UDIN. Next 6-digit will be your membership number, and last, the remaining digit, that is 10-digit, will be alphanumerical automatically generated by the system. So this is the algorithm of your UDIN. So we'll move ahead and now we'll see how to generate the UDIN. Any question till this time? No, it's very simple, I suppose. So how to generate UDIN? Once login is created, now say for example you are having any particular assignment and you have prepared a certificate and you have signed it as well. Now as per this requirement you have to generate the UDIN. And now how you will generate the UDIN? Number one, you will be logging into the system. Number two, after registration you will be logging into the system. Number two, this password once generated can be changed anytime, even if you forget the password, which is you can recover that password through your OTP. And once you log in, then you can see on the top side there is a generate UDIN. We have login, now we want to generate the UDIN. You will see generate UDIN. Once you click this generate UDIN, like you can see I have already logged into, it says you have logged in as CA Abhijit Kelkar and my membership number. On the top of it you will see generate UDIN. There are another item, list UDIN search. We'll talk about this little later. Generate UDIN. Once you click this, now this page will appear on your screen. Fine. And now let us talk about the contents of this screen. Number one, membership number automatically coming. Number two, member's name, email ID. These three things will be auto generated, no problem. Fourth one, again important, document type. Now which type of document for which you want to generate the UDIN? There are three options. Number one, certificates. Number 2, tax audit. Number 3, other audits. At present, certificate and this tax audit is live. This other audits is still not live, but it is going to be live from 1st of July. So the options are certificate, tax audit, other audits. Next, type of certificate, date of signing, and so on and so forth. I have made another slide for this. So these are the various options: membership number, member's name, email ID, document type, whether certificate, GST or IT audit or other audit. Next, particulars of section or form under which report is issued, and there is a drop down list. I will show you that as well. So it asks you particulars of the section or form under which that particular certificate or report or document you have issued. So this is the next thing. In that particular, date of signing of the report means the date of signing of the report on that document which you have mentioned. And as I said earlier, if you are generating this UDN after 15 days, it will not allow you. It has to be from the date of signing and within 15 days. Date of signing of the report, key figures. Now this is bit interesting. We'll take later on. Key figures we have to mention and OTP. So again, very simple. Let me tell you, see, introduction of UDN has nothing to do with the uploading any particular document. Some of us are having such conception that we need to scan something and upload into the cloud or something like that. Nothing doing. You need not to upload. It has nothing to do with any scanning or uploading of the document. Number 2, it has nothing to do with any digital signature. It has, whether it is class 1, class 2, class 3, you are having or not having, UDN has nothing to do with your digital signature as well. UDN is only about you have signed a particular document. Some of the credentials of document you are putting into this portal and uploading it, they will be freeze. And the day or the time when an outsider wants to see, he is having certificate in his hand and he wants to authenticate whether that certificate is correct or not, he will put in that UDN into the system, click, and those who have entered they will pop up, and he will be able to verify, yes, these things are matching here, this means his document is correct. This is as simple as this. As I said, there is no rocket science. But for generation of UDN, as I said, from login to OTP, this is the simple procedure. If you click certificate, if you click on the point of certificate, this particular message will pop up, and there is a drop down list wherein the institute has mentioned about various certificates that are issued by a chartered accountant. In this list, there are only 2 exceptions, I would say, or separate things. The top of it, additional certification by a concurrent auditor not forming part of the concurrent audit. So while performing your concurrent audit, there are already certificates that are forming part of that concurrent audit report. You are not required to generate UDN for them at present. After 1st of July, yes. But any certificate other than that prescribed concurrent audit report, you have to prepare the UDN. And this list talk about nothing but a certificate. And what is certificate? We all are aware, on the basis of documents, facts and verification, we certify that particular thing is correct and true. And the last line, you can see others, inclusive. So others means all certificates that we are signing, all for them we have to generate the UDN. So if we click certificate, this particular list will come. If we say GST or tax audit, if we click on GST or tax audit, it is applicable from 1st of April. And again, see, this list is coming where the particulars of section or form under which report is issued. Under this particular list is coming. So any particular certificate, if not falling into this given certificates, you can always choose other. Fine. So if we choose to generate UDN of GST or tax audit, this kind of list is generated, wherein again various sections, subsections of GST Act and Income Tax Act has been already been mentioned. So if you are issuing any certificate under this section, again UDN has to be generated. Again the list is self-explanatory, you can see, and as I said, all certificates, there is always the word other. So all certificates other than list, you have to generate the UDN. And there is a third for which we all are waiting, that is the other audits coming soon from 1st of July. And I really wonder whether there are going to be any drop down list or all the drop down lists are removed, because everything is covered. There is no question, only that particular line will remain under which form or section you are issuing this certificate, and one has to manually type then under what section, under what act he is issuing that certificate. Till that time they are having a drop down list, and we are waiting for these other audits. So this is how, say for example, you have decided to generate the UDN, all these parameter, you have given the information, particulars of section, date of signing. Till this time this is okay. There is as such nothing to worry about. Till this information it is okay. But the next thing is important, is figures and values, which I have mentioned as key figures in my previous slide. Now this is a last portion before you generate the UDN, wherein it asks about the figures and values. Please note, it is asking about figures and values. And so far as certificate is concerned, if you click certificate, 3 rows will appear. But if you click tax or GST audit, 5 rows will appear. We'll talk first about these 3 rows. At the time of preparing UDN for certificate, these 3 rows will appear. Now the question arises that what type of information one is expected to fill into these 3 rows, and it is discretionary. One has to decide which are the 3 key figures in the certificate which you have signed or given, which you think you should mention here, and the outsider or the stakeholder will be able to see them, and he can find out whether a document is authenticate or not. For example, you have issued a net worth certificate. You can always write down the value of total assets. You can always write down the value of any particular thing, and so on and so forth. It is open. There is nothing compulsory what has to be mentioned. It is open to you. It is as per your discretion to decide which are these key figures. Now there can be a question, what if there is no figure? There can be a certificate wherein there is no figure. For example, the bank used to ask us whether he is a proprietor of that particular concern or not. They can want a certificate wherein they ask from which date he is practicing and which date he has opened, whether that particular name belongs to him or not, and so on, whether that particular GST belongs to him. There can be any kind of certificate. So there are instances, and this is a minimum criteria. 3 key figures need to be inserted, and there can be a case where there is no figure. If there is no figure, you need not to worry. You can say there is no financial figure and put 0 into the column of this figure. It will accept. No problem. So if there is no figure, you can put no financial figure available, and you can put 0. If figures are available, on your own discretion, you can think, you can identify which are the 3 key figures which you must insert. Please insert these 3 key figures into these 3 rows. And then there is a document description. Below it, there is another requirement, which is document description. You can always write, you have to write about the description of the document. But please note, you are not expected to write name of the client. Just write about the document for which you are generating the UDN. So if you are going to generate UDN for certificate, these 3 rows will appear. But if you click the tax audit report or GST report, then in the drop down list you select anything which is the drop down list which I have already shown you, wherein income tax and GST related sections are given. So if you select any section which is related with the income tax, then there is a 5 figures row, 5 rows that will be appearing in front of you, and you can see. So again there are 6 rows, 6 key figures. It is up to you to decide which key figures you want to put in this particular 5 rows, because 6th one is a PAN. If you select GST, if you select GST, for example in GST there are only 2 things specifically given for GST section 35 5 of GST, that is, this is something related with 9C. If you select this, please see, out of these 6, 3 compulsory options are appearing. Number 1, turnover, including of export as per auditor statement, turnover, declare annual return, and the 4th one is GST of the SSE. So these 3 things are compulsory coming in. Rest of the 3 things you have to think about and put in. If you select the certificate under section 66(1) of CGST, select means select from that drop down. If you select that, herein again see, again first two rows are compulsory information and the 4th one is GST of the assessee. So generating UDN, very simple. Your name, membership number, under what you are issuing certificate, which form you are issuing, then the key figures, then the particulars, and with this the process is over. And what you need to do, you have to verify it through OTP. So it asks whether you really want to go ahead. You said yes, you click send OTP. Once you click send OTP, these 2 things will appear. Number 1, verify. You can always go back and verify whether the credentials are correct or whatever information you have given is correct or not. If not, you can regenerate those things. If you are, which we called it as review, you can always review whatever information you have given. If you are satisfied with whatever information you have given, you will say go ahead. You will insert your OTP. You will verify your OTP, and once this is done, UDIN is generated by the system. Why? 6M and then 10-digit alphanumerical system generated number. 18-digit UDIN will be generated. Now what one is expected to do with this UDIN? What next? Institute says, apart from mentioning this UDIN on the face of the document, number 1, you can have this UDIN as a watermark in the paper and print certificate on that. Third thing is very important. Institute says one has to write this UDIN after his signature, name and membership number. So wherever you are signing, you sign it, you write your membership number, you may write your FRN number, then please write UDIN number, without which the process is not completed. And this UDIN will be a unique document identification number that can be used by you or by the outsider, which will remain for the lifetime. There is no question of expiry of UDIN. One can see even as an auditor, if you are maybe next year you are going to bank and you have seen any particular certificate, you can log into the site and verify whether this document is correct or not. If there is no UDIN, you can very well say this document is bogus, because there is no UDIN. So this is how one can generate the UDIN. Now the question may raise, what about those documents which are certified online with the use of digital signature? What will happen? So if there is any case where you have certified any document online with the use of digital signature, a separate UDIN has to be generated, and that record you should keep with yourself, even though you have not issued any physical document. But you have to generate UDIN for that online filing and keep that UDN in your record which can be used, which can be asked in future by the authority whether you have issued UDN or not.
सर
Yes. Yes,
यदि
Sanjay.
कभी कभी ये होता है सर्टिफिकेट बदलना पड़ता है, रिपोर्ट चेंज हो जाती है, तो यदि यूडीआई नंबर चेंज हुआ तो कैंसिल भी होता है क्या?
Yes, yes. उसके ऊपर आऊंगा मैं. UDN कैंसर सर्टिफिकेट बदलना पड़ता है, यानी there can be a new information because of which one has to change his opinion. हम ना ऐसे बोलना चाहिए ना, we are professionals, है ना? So on the basis of a new information we have to change our opinion. So once, please note, वैसे वो next slide में आएगा लेकिन अभी आपको बता देता हूँ, once generated UDN cannot be modified or altered, कि ये तो मैंने चेंज कर दिया था. Once generated UDN cannot be modified or altered. Number 2, there can be a case wherein same certificate is reissued as a duplicate. Whether you are required to generate new UDN, answer is no. A certificate is issued and you are issuing a duplicate certificate later on. Please mention the same UDN. Point number 3, if UDN has been generated, certificate has been issued, and later on you are of the opinion that a fresh certificate has to be issued on the basis of some information, you have facility to revoke this UDN you have already generated. We'll come to that little later, but you can always revoke that information, revoke that UDN, and a fresh UDN has to be generated. Clear? So there are cases wherein there are, say, more than 2 partners. The assignment is in the name of the firm and the signing partner is somebody else. The guideline says UDN has to be generated by the signing partner only. So if you have signed, then your partner cannot generate that. You have to generate that UDN. You can give your OTP number to him and ask him to generate. That is a separate thing. But again, it is my humble request to everybody present here. Please do not share this information, your login ID, password with your staff, articles, employees, and so on and so forth. Because they may use this for some unwanted purpose in future. Please do not do that. Please have this practice of generating UDN by yourself. But the point is, if somebody, the assignment is given to particular firm and one partner is signing, the signing partner has to generate the UDN. Your answer to your question, you have signed, your partner cannot generate UDN. You have to generate that UDN. So this is how UDN will be generated, and I repeat, there is no question of uploading of document, there is no question of digital signature. Only thing you are doing is generating a identification number and you are giving that number to that particular document and your responsibility is over. So we'll move ahead. Important things. Number 1, UDN once generated cannot be edited. A preview option is available wherein you can preview whatever information you have given. Once it is generated, you just cannot alter it. Anything you are uploading, digitally signing, UDN has to be generated and you have to keep it with yourself. So far as tax audit reports are concerned, we are having habit of printing the tax audit report as well, because various banks, stakeholders, they are asking for tax audit report. You have to, if you are printing it and signing it, you have to mention UDN below your signature for sure. So we'll go ahead. So important things, once generated UDN cannot be altered, it can only be revoked, it can be cancelled. Number 2, UDN will be applicable for manual as well as digitally signed certificate, that I have already covered. UDN can be used for mentioning on the certificate for which it has been generated, either by writing in hand, by printing or watermark. This is also I have covered. In case of digitalized certificate, UDN has to be generated. So these important things I have already covered. We'll move ahead. Alteration of UDNs. If at all there is a situation where you want to cancel that particular UDN, just go to list UDN, you will see the UDN. Once you see the UDN, there is an option available which says revoke. Once you click that revoke, OTP will be there and that UDN will be revoked. It is gone, but it will appear there. And now why this will appear there? Please note, if the stakeholder, he has already seen that document and that document is subsequently revoked. Institute says he will get SMS because outsider can see this UDN only after giving his mobile number, not before that. He has to mention his mobile number. Institute says he will get intimation about that revocation. Let's hope this will happen. If somebody has already seen, he will get the intimation. If nobody has seen and first time, say for example, you are having a certificate in your hand for which UDN has been generated and subsequently revoked. Once he log in into, he will see that it is revoked. This certificate is revoked and he can say that this particular certificate does not exist. This is cancelled. So, generated UDN you cannot alter, but you can always revoke. At present there is no time of revocation. हाँ, फीस नहीं है तो आप रिवोक कर सकते हो, बात अलग है. But time limit कोई नहीं है. Again there can be a question, how many UDN can be generated and number of UDN can be generated. There is no restriction. आप कितने UDN generate कर सकते हो. Verification of UDN, this we will see how they will verify, how the outsider will verify, how the insider means the person who has generated verify UDN. You log in, you go to verify UDN, you will see the list. Now what about the outsider? पहला ही जो मैंने बताया था होम पेज, उसमें राइट हैंड में दिया था आउटसाइडर्स, उसमें अगर आप जाते हैं तो सी दिस इज हाउ यू कैन वेरीफाई. यहाँ पे दिया है वेरीफाई यूडीएन बाय द अथॉरिटीज, रेगुलेटर्स, बैंक्स, अदर. ना हाउ दे विल वेरीफाई? नेम ऑफ द अथॉरिटी, उसको अपना नाम डिजिग्नेशन देना पड़ेगा. नेम ऑफ द अथॉरिटी. मोबाइल नंबर, उसको अपना मोबाइल नंबर भी देना पड़ेगा. ईमेल आईडी, वो भी उसको देना पड़ेगा. एंटर यूडीन नंबर. सो उसके हाथ में जो डॉक्यूमेंट है उसके ऊपर जो यूडीन मेंशन है वो नंबर वो यहाँ पे टाइप करेगा. देन देयर इज अ कैप्चा कोड, और कैप्चा कोड को उसने डाल के वेरीफाई किया तो उसके सामने पर्टिकुलर शीट अपीयर हो जाएगी. वो मैंने लिया नहीं, बट उसके ऊपर जो हमने पैरामीटर्स डाले थे, नाम, नंबर, डेट ऑफ साइनिंग, अंडर विच इट इज बीन इशूड, व्हाट आर द 3 की फैक्टर्स, ये उसके सामने अपीयर हो जाएगा. ही कैन क्रॉस चेक those things with the certificate in hand and he can assure himself that certificate is correct. अगर this is if this has been searched by the outsider, if we search it, अगर हम खुद सर्च करना चाहे तो फिलहाल इसमें दिया है कि under what we have issued any of this thing, what is the date of signing, इतना डाल के भी हमने सबमिट कर दिया तो वो पर्टिकुलर डेट को आपने कितने यूडीएन इशू किए थे वो आ जाएगा. So this is very simple and the thing is very user friendly. List of generated UDN. See, you can go to list UDN and you will see this is the list. Now one can see, please look at the screen, print UDN, revoke UDN. So if you click on print UDN, I think I have not seen, but if you click on print UDN, a page will be printed with the watermark UDN. One has to verify. I am not sure this will happen, but if print UDN is given, it has to be for that only. And revoke UDN. If you want to revoke that UDN, you click this with OTP. You can revoke your UDN. So this is the list wherein you can see the generated UDN. Revocation of UDN, I think I have already covered. Now compulsory UDN. Institute has given 2 lists. Number 1, compulsory UDN. Number 2, UDN not required. After 1st July, I believe there will be a negative list, because other than that negative list, everything is compulsory. At present, there is a compulsory UDN and there is a UDN not required. Now, these are the various things. You can go to the website and download these various. Basically, all these are certificates wherein UDN has to be given compulsorily. You can see capital contribution, turnover, working capital, certification of fair value, foreign remittance, net worth, bank guarantee and embassy and so on and so forth. All these are certificates at present, because certificates and GST and income tax audit, UDN has to be compulsorily generated. So this is the list wherein UDN has to be generated compulsorily. What is not covered? Number 1, auditor opinion, this is been given by the institute, auditor opinion report issued by practicing chartered accountant under any statute. In fact, they have already started with GST and tax audit, but other things are transfer price audit, company audit, trust audit, society audit. At present, for this UDIN is not required to be generated at present. After 1st July, yes, valuation report, UDIN is not required to be generated. Quarterly review report, UDIN is not required to be generated. Limited review report, no. Information system audit, no. Forensic audit, no. Revenue credit stock audit, no. You are not required to generate UDIN. Yesterday somebody called me and he asked me that he has certified particular stock figure of a client. Now whether he has to compulsory generate UDIN or not. I said yes. नहीं, but he said वहाँ तो exception दिया है stock audit report को. मतलब stock audit report को exception है. Stocks को certify किया उसको exception नहीं है. You have to generate the UDIN. Revenue credit stock audit UDIN at present till 1st of July not required. Borrower monitoring assignments, concurrent internal audit and like UDIN is not required to be generated. So the list wherein UDIN is compulsory is given. The list wherein UDIN is not compulsory is given. I have received this question also one day back that sir, you know, there is a necessity to sign some balance sheet because the bank want, and then we are saying that like they are not audited, but then you are attesting them. You are putting your sign, though they are not audited, UDIN has to be generated. Because the basic purpose of UDIN that the user wants to verify whether the document is that actual document, authentic document or not. So if you are certifying something, say for example balance sheet P&L which is not as such audited, but you are stating that it is prepared from the books of account maintained and as per the information available, you have to generate the UDIN. The basic thing which I want to convey to all of you who are present here is that though we are knowing what is UDIN, though we are knowing how it is to be generated, this particular system will only helpful if this is being conveyed to stakeholders, the users, that please use this UDIN. Till the time the actual users are knowing the use of UDIN, there is no use to us as such. Because the point is we want to safeguard ourselves from forgery, from fraud, from bogus document. The till time this is being conveyed to the bankers, regulators, tax authorities and so on and so forth, and they are knowing they can use this particular system to see the authenticity of the document, till that time this particular system is of no use. So it is my humble request to all of you, if you meet anybody, any banker, anybody, please tell them that this is the new system, there will be UDIN on that document and he can check the authenticity of the document by using that UDIN. Now there are issues till everything is compulsory, up to 1st of July there will be some issues. In my humble opinion, please don't go after this whether this is compulsory or whether this is not compulsory. Anything you are signing, anything you are certifying, there is no harm in issuing UDIN, isn't it? So there is no question of bothering whether this is compulsory or not. This is my humble. So one can always read between the figures and words whether this is applicable or not applicable. And you are very correct in pointing that valuation includes stock, and before that I said stock you have to certify, but I am correct in both the answers, I suppose. Please start generating UDIN for whatever you are saying. The process of generating of UDIN is bit time consuming, there is no doubt about it, but it has been even institute has said that though it brings some discomfort to the practitioners, in long run the hardship faced by the practitioners will be mitigated, because henceforward no one can come to your office, no one can come ask you that whether you have signed this particular certificate or not. A particular system is given through which he can identify whether the document is authenticate or not. So I believe this process which institute has started is very unique and wonderful. It is going to be a game changer in future, and I believe there will be new things coming after every 3 months. As and when new things will be invented, new issues will be confronted, new things will be involving into UDN. Maybe a year down the line, 2 years down the line, we have a very first class, very perfect UDN system wherein all documents will be, you can say, secured by a digitally generated identification number. The institute site has given this particular email ID and number wherein you can try to ask your queries. And again, it is a humble suggestion. If you have any particular pertinent issues which you think should be incorporated, included into this site, please send mail to the institute. I assure you proper action will be taken, proper cognizance will be there, and that particular thing will be included into this system. And as I said, 1 year down the line, we have a perfect system of generation of UDN. और ये शुरुआत है, as I said, ये शुरुआत है, धीरे धीरे ये और अच्छा होता जाएगा, एंड डाउन द लाइन 1 ईयर बहुत अच्छा यूडिन सिस्टम रहेगा. अभी ये नहीं कर सकते वो बैकडेटेड का फंडा खत्म हो जाएगा, नॉन सीओपी होल्डर मेंबर्स एग्जिस्ट ही नहीं करते, ऐसे लोग अभी आपका साइन करने वाले, अभी इसके बाद ऐसा होगा नहीं. अगर बैंकर यूडीएन देखे बिना अगर देता है तो उसका प्रॉब्लम है, आपके ऊपर वो आ नहीं सकता. So with this I conclude my presentation on UDN. I hope the message is conveyed and everybody who is sitting here is now convinced that UDN is compulsory, and I am sure they will be having this habit of generating UDN tomorrow onwards. Thank you very much for the opportunity.